Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of My Perspective Podcast with your boy, Big Hawk. Thank you so much for tuning in with me for another conversation, another great episode. In my mobile studio, before we get started, disclaimer everything I say is just my opinion based on my life experiences, based on my perception, how I see things. But I hope what I say resonate with you. I hope that it provokes thought, and I also hope that it provokes change. But if not, no harm, no foul. Because guess what? It's just my perspective. Let's get into it. Ladies, let's have a conversation today. Man, all week long, I've been either hearing about conversations, listening to interviews, or even having conversations with females who talking about men allowing them to be in a soft girl era or allowing them to walk in their feminine energy. Now, I heard this before, but I never paid too much attention to it. But I tell you, man, like I heard it a lot this week, and it's kind of ironic. But I'm just thinking, how can a man allow a female to be in a soft girl era or to walk in their feminine energy? How is that possible? How can I, a man, give you permission or access, uh, give you access granted to be what's innately within you, and that's femininity. Now, whether you exercise it or not, that's a whole other conversation. But how can a man give you permission or allow access for you to walk in your soft girl era? Y'all tell me how. Got time today. Please tell me how. As y'all know, my perspective podcast is about personal development and relationship development. But I'm stumped on this one. How can a man allow a woman to be feminine? Let's reverse the roles. If I said you have to allow me to be masculine, or you have to allow me to walk in my masculine era or my masculine energy, you're gonna look at me sideways, right? I know it. Because I'm gonna look at me sideways if I ask you for permission to be a man. How can a man allow a woman to be a woman? Now, granted, I know how this term came about, but at the end of the day, ladies, you gotta take responsibility for your actions. I know there's some no good jokes out here that left you high and dry. Promise you the world didn't deliver. I get it. We've been there before. We've all been through something before, similar in nature. I understand that, but man, y'all gotta correct this verbiage because there's no way possible that a man can give woman permission to be feminine. You have to choose to exercise your femininity. You have to make a choice to be feminine. Femininity is innately within you. I don't care if you feel like you was born gay or born a man. I don't care how you feel. Femininity is innately within you. Now, both men and women have estrogen and testosterone, but estrogen is the woman's governing hormone. Testosterone is the man's governing hormone, right? So I got a little estrogen in me. How do you pronounce that? I got some in me. So and that allows me to get in touch with my sensitive side. Be in tune with my feelings and emotions. That's what gives me access to be in tune with my feelings, right? But that don't govern me as a man. Testosterone govern me as a man. It makes me competitive, to grow my muscles, to make me dominant, to make me want to uh, give me the drive to go hard, to give me the drive to want to be the best and to conquer, right? To be that, to have that uh, 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 dominating gene in me, right? That's testosterone giving me that ability to do so. And women are governed by estrogen. That's why y'all are more nurturing. That's why y'all are more in touch with your feelings and emotions. That's why y'all are more lovable, things of that nature. Now, it varies from man to man. Some men have more, are more sensitive than others, and some women are more non-sensitive than others. However, the governing hormone is estrogen for females and testosterone for men, right? But I want to talk about how this rhetoric and this verbiage is affecting dating, especially in 2025, since the 21st century, really. But these past, I got divorced in 2019 from my first marriage. Um, I was separated. I left South Carolina and came back to Florida. When we officially separated, that was in November 2017. That's when I began to discover how the world had changed and how the dating scene had changed. But also how dating has evolved and changed being older. The older you get, the tougher it is to find uh, your special someone, your person, if you will, your happily ever after. The older you get, the harder and harder it is to find that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with for a myriad of reasons. I'm gonna go on record to say this. I ain't the first person to say it, but I'm gonna go along with it. Man, the best time to get married, and I'm 50. I'm past my prime. I'm married again for the second time, but the second time around wasn't easy. There's still challenges. It's really challenging. However, the best time for an individual to get married, man, is between the years of 18 and 25. I know some of y'all saying, well, I ain't lived life yet, or I haven't got a chance to live life yet. We haven't got a chance to experience life. That's okay. You need to experience your person and grow with your person, and y'all experience life together. That's the best time for individuals to create a union. You have the best chances or the best odds to live happily ever after. To get married one time and get married until death do you part. After that, when life begin to happen, you begin to experience life, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of life. Um, it gets more and more challenging the older you get. And for women, I heard this statistic earlier this week. If a woman has slept with 5 or more men, her chances of having a successful marriage is only like 5%. That's a crucial number. So that's why I feel like between the ages of 18 and 25 are so critical to get married. You hadn't experienced much outside of life. You haven't did much. So it's best to do it with your significant other and grow with your person. I got married the first time at 25 years old. 25 years old. And my then wife was 22, soon to be 23. I turned 26 3 days after I got married. So, and we were together for 18 years. Had we stayed together 2 more months, it would have been 19 years. We would have been married, right? We experienced ups and downs, goods and bads, highs and lows together at a young age. And that forged a bond that kept us together. Unfortunately for me, the disrespect got too much for me. You know, I couldn't deal with the disrespect. I tried, but that was just a thing of mine that I just couldn't tolerate. So that was the beginning of the end of the marriage. And I went astray. I caused the divorce because I went astray, but because of the disrespect, that's why I went astray. But you know, I own I messed it up. But I can't do the disrespect. And I say that to say this: the older you get, the more and more, the less and less tolerant you become. Man, listen. The older you get, the more scars and the more life experiences you done been through, the less you gonna take, the less you gonna put up with, the less you gonna tolerate, and the more non-negotiables you're gonna have. Not only that, um, your peace becomes more and more important to you. I mean, so much so that you're willing to be single. You're willing to be by yourself, for peace sake, to have a peace of mind. I totally get it. I totally get it. But when it comes to marriage and how the women are thinking nowadays, I want before I go into my little rant, I want to say this, man. I'm glad women have found the confidence. I'm glad you done found your confidence. However, some of y'all got too much confidence. However, again, y'all done traded in y'all humility for confidence, and y'all need to get your humility back, because a lot of y'all think that you're bigger than what you is. A lot of y'all think y'all better than what you are. Ain't nothing wrong with confidence. And I'm not saying that because I'm so this, I'm so that, because I'm not. However, when it comes to dating, at my age or middle age and up, the man is less and less and less likely to gain anything out of the relationship, other than, hopefully she love him unconditionally and sex. I hate to sound so critical, but think about this. If you date in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you 9 times out of 10, the female still has kids at home, still have kids in the home. So the man, he may have kids as well, but they living with their mama 9 times out of 10. So all the responsibility of childbearing, a child rearing, is on the custodial parent, which is the mother, right? So the man comes in automatically. He meets mom. He's interested in mom. He dates mom. He gets to know mom. But guess what? She got one or more children at home. So now guess what? He has to forge a relationship with the children as well. If I want mom, I gotta want what come with mom. That's her kids, right? Nothing wrong with that, in theory. But this is where it gets tricky. The mama got her and her kids. It's just the man. Who mama allegiance lies to first and foremost? Her kids. The children meet mom's friend, potential boyfriend, potential husband, potential love interest. Who are their allegiance to? The mama. Who has any allegiance to me? The potential love interest. Nobody. But I got to come in and take on all this responsibility with absolutely no return on my investment. When the rubber meet the road, when things get tough, when things get tricky, guess what? Mama gonna put her kids before me. The kids gonna put their mama before me. And I'm stuck trying to make a family dynamic and a family structure out of something I didn't create. And when things get tough, guess what? I'm gonna be the one kicked out. I'm gonna be the odd man out. And shout out to all the fellas who took on the blended family. Welcome to the Crash Dummy Club. Welcome to the Crash Dummy Club. That's a club, that's a unique club that a lot of us in, that we didn't sign up for. We didn't know what we was getting ourselves into. We thought we can create a blended family and make things work. But unfortunately, it's a challenge. It's a humongous challenge. Can it be conquered? Most definitely. But the only way it's going to be conquered if the mom is on the same page with the potential love interest, right? If that ain't the case, Brother, you fighting a losing battle. You fighting a losing battle. When you come into a relationship and you take on the mom and her kids, guess who take a back seat? 9 times out of 10. Your kids. Especially if y'all up under one roof. It sounds like it don't have to be that way, but if you under the roof with your new girl and her children, they become your number one priority by default. Not that you intentionally make them your number one priority, but by default they're your number one priority. They're up under your roof. That's who you spend the majority of your time with. You might send your kids money and stuff like that, but when it's time like the show them come through, 9 times out of 10, the responsibility is going to be your responsibilities in that home. That's the sad truth. I know the kids feel away, and it's unfortunate, but that's usually how it go. I know the new girlfriend like, no, I'll take care of your kid, this and that, and you do the best you can, but 2 o'clock in the morning, her kids getting in trouble. Who getting up to see about the kids? They may call the baby daddy, but who gonna get up first if they there? You, the live-in. Are you the primary boyfriend? That's kind of how it go. It don't make sense. It don't, but it's natural. It's natural. But the women want the protection, the provision, the love, the financial security, but they don't want to play their part in it as well. That's humility, that's submission, that's nurture, um, that's spiritual protection, that's wisdom, so on and so forth. There's 2 sets of rules, and they're universal rules, and they're gender roles. It is what it is. Men are designed for certain things, women are designed for certain things. God made woman smarter than a man. But one thing God didn't give women a lot of was logic. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. God gave man more logic than he did wisdom. Now, I don't mean men ain't smart or men ain't wise. It just means women can see things from a perspective that a man can't, which tends to make things flow better. But things flow perfectly when the man and the woman are operating in their zone, and the two become one. That's when you get perfection. Because man by himself is not perfect, woman by herself is not perfect. But when the two come together, you become one. That's perfection. Two are better than one, but a threefold cord is not easily broken. When y'all walking in alignment on the same path with the same goal, that's that unity that you need. That's going to make your relationship unbreakable or hard to break, or a bond that's solid and Trump tight. But as long as you got the woman want to be equal as the man, meaning she wants her respect, she wants her just due, she wants her flowers, instead of putting the bug in the man's ear, putting the battery in the man's back, stroking the man's ego, giving him that missing piece he needs to go to the next level, and don't care about who get the credit as long as you get the results, then you're gonna have friction. Then you got the man, this new man in today's era, who wants the king's treatment but ain't providing, who wants the king's treatment but ain't protecting, who wants the king's treatment as not giving financial stability, but wants the king's treatment. This whole thing has been flipped upside down. You got these single moms out here who have went to school, got degrees, got educated, got gainfully employed, um, got the homes, got the cars, got all the things, but now they say the only thing is missing is a man. But guess what, ladies? You became what you want. You became that man that you want. Gainfully employed, strong, independent, tough, no nonsense. So guess what you need? You need a beta man, a soft man who easy going, who's a pushover, who don't care, who get the credit. He don't care if you lead or he lead, don't matter. That's what the man you need. That's the man you don't respect. That's the man you don't respect. But then you get a strong man, but you don't want him to be a man. You get a strong, tough man, a leader, a decision maker, a no nonsense guy. You're gonna try to break this man out of who he is innately because you don't respect the man that you need. And that's the beta. That's the man who don't mind following your lead. And don't get me wrong, leadership don't mean your ideas, ladies, are not the right ideas. Or your ideas or your way of doing things is not the best way of doing things. It just means you are smart enough or you are wise enough to allow your man to lead and guide. And one thing for sure, and two things for sure, if a man can trust his lady, he's going to get her input on everything and every decision that's made in their home. One thing for sure, and two things for sure, if a man know he could trust his woman, he's going to get her input in every decision that has to be made in their household together. But when the woman is challenging her man, but when the woman is contesting everything the man brings to the table, when the woman is combating everything the man brings to the table, guess what? That's friction. Guess what? You're not going to get much accomplished. Guess what? Now you're going to be living two separate lives, posing as a couple, because you can't see eye to eye because of the friction. You got to learn how to trust the process. You have to learn how to trust the process. Once you learn how to trust the process, things will go so much better, so much smoother. The relationship that you see that has stood the test of time, that's because 9 times out of 10, the man played his role and the woman played her role. That ain't always the case. Sometimes you'll have people who've been married for 60, 70, 50 years, 40 years. They still fight like cats and dogs. They be in love, but they're miserable. Marriage not supposed to be miserable. You're supposed to love each other in the good times and the bad times, but the love you have for each other is supposed to supersede the misery. And y'all should be able to come together and work things out for the greater good. Who cares who get the credit as long as you get the mission accomplished? Who cares who get the credit as long as you get the mission accomplished? And I'm seeing this type of behavior out of so-called Christian folk, so-called Bible believers, so-called followers of Christ. But followers of Christ, the Bible say God is the head of the church. God is the head of man, man is the head of woman, woman is the head of the kids. So what that means is Jesus Christ married to the church. Man should pray to God to get direction and get wisdom. Women should pray to God to better serve her husband. The wisdom she has is to better serve her husband so he can make the right decision in the home. But if the woman is the spiritual leader in the home, the house out of order. And if the woman is a spiritual leader and she is masculine with it, you're not going to get far with your man. You're not going to get far with your man if you show him masculine behavior and you're the wife or you're the girlfriend. If your man, if you two masculine people in the house, guess what? Y'all going to fight. If it's two masculine people in the house, y'all going to fight. I had one person in my life who was always feminine. Every time we had a disagreement, it didn't last long because you can't argue by yourself. As long as you stay in your place and know how to make things right, a man gonna give you your glory. A man gonna give you your flowers. But when you try to be the man, how far you think it's gonna go? Especially when you're dealing with a real man. Now, if you're dealing with a beta man, I hate calling people simps and chumps, but a beta man, a man who easy going, who kind of a pushover type guy, you can run the house. You can run everything because he don't care to do that, and that's fine. But when you got a masculine man and you're operating in masculinity, ladies, you finna have a heavyweight fight. Ain't gonna be no unity in the house. It's gonna be only friction. He gonna punch you, you gonna punch him. He gonna punch you, you gonna punch him. How far you gonna get like that? It's not about winning an argument. It's about getting the mission complete. It's about getting the vision accomplished. But when you got two masculine people fighting, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to conquer. I'm trying to dominate. But why I want to dominate my woman? Unfortunately, a lot of y'all so masculine, we got to dominate you and force you into submission so you can see the right thing. And that shit is sad. That shit is sad, it's toxic, and it's messed up. But when you try to walk away, you don't want them to go nowhere. But you don't want to operate in your rightful place, in your rightful energy, in your rightful essence. That makes for some tough times. And we getting too old for that. We getting too old for that. If y'all still looking for love in y'all 40s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, man, listen. Learn how to operate in your role. There's universal roles for men. There's universal roles for women. You can look at nature. You can look at the scriptures first and foremost. If you believe in the God, if you believe in the Bible, you believe in God. I don't care if you're a Nation of Islam. I don't care what your religion is. The universal roles are there. The man's role, the woman's role. So it's not about any particular denomination. It's about the universal principles for men, the universal principles for women. If you operate in those universal roles, in those universal principles, you will have a more successful relationship, a more successful marriage, and a more successful union. When you operating outside of those universal principles and those universal gender roles, it's gonna make for a tough relationship. I don't care what relationship it is. Platonic, romantic, don't matter. If y'all operating out of those universal principles, out of order, how you gonna have order in your relationship? How you gonna have order in your home? Let me know in the comments what you think. Am I tripping? Or am I on to something? What I'm saying ain't nothing new. I ain't discovered this. This ain't no epiphany that, oh, I'm the first one got it. Man, we've been talking about this. This conversation has been going on for a long time. Only the 1% get it right. Only the 1% get it right. I'm talking about happy, healthy relationships, happy, healthy marriages. Only the 1% get it right. The 99% still fussing and fighting, trying to make it right. Or masking like it's right and it still ain't right. Ain't y'all tired of fighting? I know I am. Tired of fighting. I want a beautiful, healthy, peaceful relationship, not a heavyweight fight. But I gotta beat you round one, you beat me round two, I beat you round 3 and 4, 5, then you get me round 6. Man, I ain't no boxer. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a lover. You shouldn't want to be a boss either. You should want to be a girlfriend, a wife, a mother, and a lover, a nurturer, a caregiver, a homemaker. And before I go, I'm gonna say this right here. Ladies, y'all don't know y'all superpower. Y'all don't know y'all superpower. Y'all superpower ain't being a leader in the forefront. A woman is a force multiplier. I can go buy a house, but you make the house a home. I plant the seed in you, you produce children. Force multiplier. But you want to be the man. I can't force multiply nothing. I go out, bring home the bacon, bring it to you, you make a meal out of it. I go out, buy a house, You turn that house into a home. I give you, think about Gucci Man and his wife before he went to prison. He gave her $2 million. He came back home. She had $10 million on the table for him. Force multiplier. She ain't walking around trying to get no credit. That man loved that woman so much. He told the world how much she mean to him. He didn't care about her past or nothing. He cared about what she did for him and how she held him down. That's all that mattered. She's a force multiplier. And that's what y'all should be striving to operate in. Little becomes much when you place it in the master's hand. That's a cheat code. Think about that. Chessboard. What's the most important piece on the chessboard? The queen. But she don't have to get all the credit. Y'all want the credit. Y'all want the credit. It don't matter who get the credit, as long as you get the results. Operate in your queenship. Learn how to operate in your queenship. Learn how to make your king a better king. And see how far your relationship go. I'm gonna land the plane right there. This your boy Big Hawk. Thank you for another episode of Rocking With Me. Till next week. Love y'all. Peace.